Hi there. How is it going today? Let's talk about hoarding. I have the Four of Pentacles here with me. This is the card that I think corresponds to this psychiatric phenomenon. What we're looking at here with the Four of Pentacles is this need to hold on to stability. Number 4 is the number of stability, the number of status quo. It's a conservative number in the sense that it conserves, it calcifies, it solidifies, it creates a box, a comfortable and convenient structure that generates your comfort zone, really. And for people who have a problem with hoarding, for them, this becomes the stuff that they hoard, which in their mind, in their understanding, there's some utility to everything, and there's a lack of ability to differentiate between or prioritize with stuff, with objects. There's no leading principle, there's no guideline as to what they should keep or what they should throw away, so they just keep everything. So there's no discernment as to what is valuable. The theme of the Pentacles suit is that of finding what's valuable and then doing something with it. And the Four of Pentacles is the card of holding on to what is stabilizing you. Now, taken to the extreme, in the case of people who are struggling with hoarding tendencies, this becomes a game of everything, all the objects, all the stuff that I accumulate and use to generate a fortress around me. All of that stuff, it's a token of my inner stability. It's the center that I do not have psychologically or spiritually. It is recreated around me symbolically with stuff. So sometimes you see people who live this hoarding lifestyle or who struggle with this problem. You see them building these towers of stuff. Sometimes, they use old newspapers or just used empty boxes. And the very sad thing is sometimes they hoard animals as well, which is where I think it really crosses a line. But even if it's not getting to that degree, it's very unsanitary and it's just a hazard. And it's the sad expression of some inherent emptiness, some trauma that went unprocessed and created this problem for the individual and for those who are in a relationship with them. Because hoarding, it's not a solitary problem. Even though most people who are affected by it, they live by themselves, but sometimes you see couples or even families creating these sorts of circumstances for themselves. But it's always a wider issue. It becomes always a bigger context that these circumstances are then judged in, because sometimes the authorities need to get involved and they need to intervene. And so hoarding, it's this very, although it happens little by little, and the subtlety of the Four of Pentacles, I think, fits this this very well. It's not dramatic. It doesn't happen. It's not a change that happens from one day to the other. It's a process. It's a subtle process that builds over years in most cases. And I believe that the tragedy of this condition and the difficulty of this condition is exactly this. It's that it builds up gradually, and so it becomes a habit. It becomes very much a fixed pattern, fixed behavior pattern for the person. And so if you or somebody you know is struggling with this, I definitely recommend that you ask for professional help, because this is not something that you can get over by yourself. Chances are, perhaps if you're really lucky, or if somehow you manage to navigate your situation differently, or navigate yourself out of the situation, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes that can happen, but in most cases you will need external help to get things on the right track. And in general, the message that I want to impart with these videos is that, you know, all conditions, all psychiatric conditions, they are not a result of lack of willpower or some sort of character defect, as some people would like to think. It's these complex neurobiological processes that happen in the brain that you have no control over, that then make you powerless, and that make it difficult to change your behavior unless you ask for help. And another important thing that I wanted to emphasize here is that, just like all cards in the tarot, no matter what card you draw, because we all have these predispositions for certain vulnerabilities, psychic vulnerabilities, it's different for everybody. It mostly depends on your genetics, what you're predisposed to. So you already have a tendency for whatever it is that runs in your family, or what you're predisposed to by for any reason. But the environment can make a big difference. It can activate or ameliorate already existing conditions. It can really make a difference. And also, as I was saying, like cards in the tarot, the card that you've been dealt, whatever it is, it can come out in very destructive and very negative ways, such as in the case of hoarding. But it can also be an advantage. It can also be turned into a superpower, that same underlying tendency to collect and to be meticulous and be very loyal and dedicated. It can be a great asset, just as much as it can be a destructive force in your life. And it depends on how you utilize the power. For example, of the Four of Pentacles, it's the ability to be stubborn, to not give things up, to not give up, to not surrender. And that ability can be a very valuable trait to have if it's done well, if it's, you know, within healthy boundaries. So your biggest weakness can be your superpower. Everything is a spectrum, and you can manage it in most cases, you can find a way to manage it and turn it to your advantage. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you like this video, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, let me know that you're here. And if you would like to, you can also book a reading with me on the link that is listed in the description. Bye bye.